Xtalks connects professionals in the life science, medical device, and food industries with useful content like webinars, job openings, articles, and virtual meetings to help you succeed in your career. This food industry-focused podcast brings together some of our editorial staff to share insights into the latest B2B industry news to help keep you up to date.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Xtalks Food Podcast. I'm Sydney Perlmutter, Senior Food Industry Journalist and Webinar Moderator at Xtalks.com, and this week I'm joined by Aisha Rashid and Vera Kovacevic. Thanks so much for coming today. So I'm going to start us off with a very fun food story. So each year, Products of the Year USA shines a spotlight on the most innovative products across various industries. So this year, the awards continued their tradition of recognizing excellence with 46 categories reflecting the latest consumer trends. A national study involving 40,000 American consumers selects the winners, who then earn the right to display the iconic red seal. And the seal not only serves as a beacon of innovation for shoppers, but also offers brands a prestigious marketing advantage. The food and beverage sectors are particularly dynamic, with consumers always on the lookout for novel and healthier options. So Product of the Year USA's awards in these categories serve as a testament to creativity and quality, guiding consumers to outstanding products. Past winners have included a range of items from innovative snacks to breakthrough beverages, each setting a higher standard for taste, nutrition, and convenience. So in 2024, several brands stood out for their exceptional offerings in the food and beverage categories. Notably, ALDI, which is a grocery chain, continued its streak of excellence, securing multiple awards for its exclusive products. So let's delve into all of the food and beverage products that made the list this year. So the first one is bread, and that was ALDI. The ALDI exclusive specially selected sliced Italian loaf captures the essence of authentic Italian baking. Its selection reflects consumers' growing appreciation for premium yet affordable international cuisine. Next is a very broad category, but breakfast, and the winner for that one was Quaker Fruit Fusion Instant Oatmeal from PepsiCo. It's a delightful twist to morning routines, blending wholesome oats with real fruit pieces for a nutritious start to the day. The third category was cereal, another PepsiCo product, another Quaker product as well, and that's the Quaker Chewy Granola, which stands out for its convenience and taste, offering a hearty and healthy option for busy mornings. Fourth was chocolate, and this was Kinder Chocolate from Ferrero, and it continues to delight with its creamy milk filling and superior quality. It's a favorite among those with a sweet tooth, and notably not the Kinder Egg, but rather just the Kinder Chocolate Bar. Next, for cooking essentials, is the ALDI exclusive Simply Nature Spray Oil, which is offers a healthier way to cook, again emphasizing ALDI's commitment to affordable organic options. Next category is functional health, and that went to Bare Organic Superfood Coffee, which merges the benefits of superfoods with the daily ritual of coffee, catering to the functional health trend. Seventh on the list is hard seltzer, and Truly Red, White, and True from Boston Beer Company took the winner there, and it captures the spirit of innovation in the hard seltzer market with its patriotic theme and refreshing taste. Next is healthy beverage, and that went to Blender Bites, which revolutionizes the smoothie industry with pre-portioned frozen pieces packed with fruits, vegetables, and superfoods. So you just put those into a blender, make a smoothie, and there you go. Next is healthy snack, and that goes to Del Monte Fruit Refreshers, which offers a guilt-free snacking option featuring fresh fruits and a light flavorful syrup. Juice is next, and that again went to ALDI exclusive Nature's Nectar OJ Blends, which is a fresh twist to orange juice, combining quality and value in a refreshing blend. Next is meal ingredient, and that went to Take Root Organics, which emphasizes sustainability and nutrition, offering organic solutions to elevate home-cooked meals. And it's at least from the picture, it's a jar or sort of can of tomatoes. Next is a meat entree, and that went to Boar's Head Firesmith Flame Grilled Chicken Breast, which showcases culinary excellence with its rich flavors and quality ingredients, perfect for a convenient gourmet meal. Non-chocolate candy is the next category, and Skittles Littles from Mars won that one. Essentially the same as Skittles, except in a smaller size, but you get the same classic Skittles taste. Next, pasta, again, to Aldi, exclusive Priano Hearty Ravioli, which combines authentic Italian flavors with the convenience demanded by modern consumers. For ready-to-drink cocktail, Absolute and Ocean Spray Vodka Cranberry ready-to-drink range merges two iconic brands for a ready-to-drink cocktail experience that's both refreshing and convenient. For salty snack, we've got Pringles Harvest Blends from Kellogg's, which introduced seasonal flavors to the snack aisle, offering a new twist on the beloved classic. We're in our last three here. So the last three is specialty dairy, and that comes from Organic Valley Reduced Fat Eggnog, which provides a healthier version of the holiday favorite, proving that indulgence can also be nutritious. Second last one is spirits, and that went to Buchanan's Pineapple, which infuses traditional Scotch with tropical pineapple, creating a unique blend that's both bold and smooth. And then lastly, we have wine, and that again went to Aldi exclusive Belletti Prosecco, which highlights Aldi's ability to bring premium sparkling wine to consumers at an exceptional value. So these top products of the year not only reflect the ever-evolving tastes and preferences of American consumers, but also highlight the industry's commitment to innovation, quality, and sustainability. And this product of the year Red Seal serves as a beacon for those seeking the best food and beverages, guiding them towards products that stand out on the shelves. And as the market continues to evolve, these awards remind us of the importance of creativity and excellence in meeting consumer needs. So one thing that I noticed about at least some of these, winners is that, a lot of these products aren't new. I think part of, being part of Product of the Year USA, you probably have to be on the market for a decent amount of time. You have to have garnered enough attention and sales as well to make this list. Because I don't think, like I said, I don't think any of these products are new. But did any of these products stand out to you? Were you surprised that Aldi made 5 out of the 19 on this list?
Yeah, I was so surprised. I'm almost like, do they have any connection to the voted Product of the Year organization? I'm like, what is going on? How come they're on all these items? Can you tell us a little bit more about Aldi? I'm not really exactly sure who they are.
Yeah, certainly. From what I know, obviously we're here in Canada, but Aldi is an American grocery chain, and I think like Trader Joe's and like Whole Foods, it has its own line of products, the Aldi exclusive line, and I think a lot of them are sort of generic versions of typical foods that you would find just at a more affordable rate. But I think they've really sort of honed in on making them more artisanal and more high quality and organic. So yeah, Aldi is just kind of a regular grocery chain, but obviously they have a very high quality line of their own brand. Yeah.
Well, the one that stuck out to me was that cooking spray oil that was also from Aldi, that was organic and all natural, and I would love to try that. So that was the one that I thought was really unique. And there was, I would say I knew about half of these brands. Some of them I didn't know, but it was really interesting to find out what they offer. But what about you, Aisha? Which one did you thought was the best?
Yeah. What stood out to me actually was that there seemed to be a really, kind of not even, but a split between really well-known, recognized, iconic, brands, which happen to be mostly junk food kind of or snacks, let's say, products, versus then you had like healthier stuff or products from maybe lesser known brands. So I found that split to be very interesting because you have like a Pringles, you have like a chewy granola, which I grew up, my university days were spent like trying to stave off hunger on those. So many iconic like brands that are so instantly recognizable, but then at the same time, you have a lot of other brands that are not so recognizable. So it was an interesting kind of a mix, definitely. But I think Skittles definitely stood out, and Pringles, and then of course a chewy granola, which kind of have some PTSD from.
Yeah, Vera, it was funny that you mentioned, maybe Aldi has some sort of part to play in all this. But, if they were true to how they conduct their research, apparently Aldi is not involved and they just got this, consumer research. And, they're the ones who select the winners. But I think the one that stood out for me the most was the Blunder Bites. I thought that's such a cool idea. You just put these sort of little bites of frozen, I guess, fruit and probably vegetables and some sort of binding liquid in a blender, and you make a smoothie. And I would imagine that it's probably cheaper than buying like any sort of pre-made smoothies. And also it must be cheaper than buying all the fruits and vegetables together for a smoothie. So I thought that was a really like innovative and smart product if you like smoothies and want to make them quicker.
Yeah, and like talking more about Aldi, I find it interesting because like if their products are high quality but they're cheaper than the more like brand name, original items, it would make sense why consumers would choose Aldi, right? It's like good value for your buck, right? So I guess it didn't surprise us now that there's like 5 of their products on the list. But I was just wondering, Sydney, like how did you categorize the list? Like were those the categories on the survey? Like, best choice for bread, best choice for this and that, or did you do that yourself?
No, so they were categorized that way. Out of 46 of them, 19 of them were food and beverage related. So I just didn't include all of the other ones that had nothing to do with food and beverage. But yeah, this is exactly how it was laid out as the categories. Only thing I did differently was do it alphabetically. That was the only thing I did.
Also, Sydney, do you know how many nominees were in each category, roughly?
Yeah, that's a good question. They don't talk about the nominees. They only talk about the winners. But that's a really good question because there's obviously so many different options for each one. The one that actually surprised me maybe was the Aldi exclusive wine. Just because I agree with you, Vera, like for cooking essentials and for other like ingredients and bread, Aldi, that totally makes sense. You'd want a cheaper alternative, but still high quality. But for wine, I feel like that's where people splurge. So I think it really speaks to the quality, I guess, and the affordability of Aldi's wine. It must really, be making a splash with people. All right, so moving on to our next story. So the global food industry has long faced the challenge of extending produce shelf life for multiple reasons to reduce waste and improve food security and enhance sustainability. And there have been some traditional methods of preservation that have served as the cornerstone for maintaining the freshness of fruits and vegetables during transportation and storage. But the advancements in tech these days and growing awareness of the environmental impact of food, new and innovative solutions are emerging. So companies like Fresh Inset and others are at the forefront of developing technologies that promise to revolutionize the way that we preserve produce, making it possible to keep fruits and vegetables fresh for longer periods of time and reduce food waste. So historically, the food industry has relied on a variety of methods to extend the shelf life of produce. These include controlled atmosphere storage, refrigeration, chemical treatments, and the use of modified atmosphere packaging or MAP. And while effective to an extent, these methods often come with limitations like high energy costs, potential impacts on taste and nutritional value, and the need for specialized infrastructure. The significance of enhancing produce shelf life can't be overstated, especially considering the Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO's, report that approximately 1/3 of all food produced globally is wasted. And this not only represents a significant loss of resources, but also contributes to greenhouse gas emissions for decomposing food waste in landfills. So luckily, though, in response to these challenges, several companies are pioneering new tech to extend the shelf life of produce without compromising on quality or sustainability. Now, these innovations range from natural protective coatings to sophisticated packaging solutions that regulate the atmosphere around produce. So we'll talk about a couple companies that are working on some really cool tech. The first one is Fresh Inset. Now, it has a tech that it calls Vidre Plus, and it's introduced a groundbreaking approach to combating perishability by using stickers that release 1-MCP, a substance that inhibits ethylene production. Fresh Inset's solution extends the freshness of leafy greens and other produce, including raspberries, mushrooms, and tomatoes, directly addressing the issue of food waste. So if you're trying to get a visual of what this could look like in the image in this article, you can see that, untreated here, the arugula is starting to go bad. You're starting to see some yellow, but it was treated with the Vidre Plus, and it's still fresh after, several days. So this is just one example. Another example is Appeal Sciences, which has developed an edible coating that significantly extends the shelf life of fruits and vegetables. And it's made from plant-derived materials. Its coating creates a natural barrier that slows down the loss of water and reduces oxidation, two primary causes of spoilage. Now, just from those two examples, it's clear that, multiple tech and companies need to be involved in this because there's such a range of different types of produce. So with Appeal Sciences, it would make sense to coat like an apple, for example. But with Fresh Inset, its technology, these stickers would go into a package of produce like arugula, like mushrooms, like raspberries, in order to protect them that way. Now, another company is Hazel Technologies, which offers a suite of innovative products designed to maintain the quality of produce from farm to shelf. So this example is biodegradable sachets, and they release active compounds that extend the shelf life of a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, tackling the issue of waste at a fundamental level. And then the last one that I've included is called Sticks Fresh. And these are produce stickers, just like you would find on typical produce, that feature a proprietary patent-pending blend designed to form a safeguarding layer around fruit in its vapor phase, effectively delaying the process of over-ripening and spoilage. So on their website, the example that they gave was on a mango. And these stickers can be used at any point within the supply chain and offer customization options, allowing for inclusion of personalized branding or barcodes. So these companies represent just a few examples of the many innovative efforts underway to address the critical issue of food waste through the extension of produce shelf life. And their technologies not only promise to reduce food waste, but also improve the efficiency of the global food supply chain, ensuring that consumers have access to fresh, healthy produce all year round. Now, the introduction of new technologies to extend the shelf life of produce is having a profound impact on the food industry. Of course, by reducing waste, these innovations contribute to environmental sustainability, economic savings for producers and consumers, and enhanced food security for communities around the world. These tech as they become more widespread, the industry is likely to see a shift towards more sustainable practices and increased focus on reducing the environmental footprint of food production and distribution. The future of the food industry truly relies on harnessing innovation to meet the demands of a growing population while protecting the planet for future generations. So ultimately, the push towards extending produce shelf life is a clear indicator of the food industry's commitment to innovation, sustainability, and the well-being of consumers and the environment. And as more companies enter the space and existing technologies are refined, the possibilities for reducing food waste and enhancing the freshness of produce are bound to grow, marking a new era of food preservation and sustainability. So yeah, I mean, I thought all of these examples were really cool, and I think they each offer something a little bit different. They're all sort of tailored toward different things and different varieties of produce. Did any particular one stand out to you the most, or was there one that you thought was more interesting than the rest?
Well, like, I definitely liked Fresh Inset the most, just because, well, the picture sold me. I mean, the arugula salad that was untreated clearly looks like it's going bad and that you can't really eat it anymore. But the one with the sticker looks like completely fresh, so that's great. And another reason why I liked Fresh Inset the most is because that sticker is put on the packaging. It's not like, of course, if it's a salad, I mean, it has to be put on the packaging. Like, you can't put it on the salad itself. But I saw, like, from other companies, I think it was the last one you mentioned, Stick Fresh. Like, they put those stickers directly, like, on the mango itself. Now, I know there's probably, like, no harm, but, like, as a consumer, I would rather it was placed on the packaging or on, like, the bag holding the mangoes, or I just don't like it when things are, like, stuck directly on the fruit itself. Even though I know to eat a mango, you have to peel it anyways. You're not going to eat the skin of a mango, right? But, like, for me, I just prefer it if it could be placed on the packaging. I also prefer it if it's not, like, an edible coating. I know they say it's edible, but to me, that's just doesn't sound organic or natural to me. So maybe I'm a little picky. I know overall, like, I'm very supportive of all of these new technologies. If it's safe to eat, and it is, because I'm assuming they did testing and the compounds they use are safe, it's better to have that than to let the fruit rot or the leafy greens rot, right? But I just, personally, if I'm gonna buy it, I'd rather it be on the packaging. Or, fine, I guess it could be on a fruit where I need to peel the skin. But I don't want it to be on something like an apple, where I would, like, eat the skin. Does that make sense?
Definitely makes sense. And I will argue that, unfortunately, when we go to the grocery store and we pick up a fruit or vegetable, that has a whole history that we will never know. And I think that's sometimes why I'll wash fruit with hot water, just so I can, at least in my mind, I'm sort of trying to get rid of all the bacteria, especially apples, which typically will have, like, a wax coating anyway. So I try to, like, get that off. But I agree with you, Vera. It could also potentially, like, change the taste a little bit too. Like, we don't really know how it would impact the taste. They claim that they don't. But from what I'm gathering is you liked Fresh Inset, and then you maybe also liked Hazel Technologies because it has these little sachets that you would put into packaging as well. So it's not directly on the fruit. But I guess that's why, all these various companies exist, because they're sort of catered to different types of produce. And so they're all, like, important in some way, shape, or form. And each type of produce probably requires different, different types of preservation methods as well.
And, like, yeah, Sydney, but, like, I'm not, like, a big organic food eater, but I imagine the people that love organic produce and organic fruits and stuff, I imagine that they don't want any stickers on the actual food itself. Like, that's just my opinion.
Come on, you don't want to eat a sticker? I imagine you peel off the sticker before eating.
But there's residue from the sticker.
That's true. But it's edibles. Glue or
but
whatever.
Then it doesn't become
plant-based organic. Sorry?
I don't know if it becomes organic anymore if you stick a sticker on it.
Well, if it's derived from, organic plant-based material. You could argue it is.
I mean, maybe. I guess so. I know.
I know it's definitely a mental block. I definitely know where you're coming from. Even like the stickers like they have on like produce like for the barcode or like the company, like that is definitely synthetic gunk, right? And sometimes it's hard to get off as well. So yeah, like Sydney, you were saying, there is a lot that goes on to our food products in general, and this is just another added thing, Vera. I totally get that too, but it does give me a bit more confidence or a bit more ease to know that like they've put thought into these stickers and that they are plant-based, they're edible. But I think the more non-invasive, I guess, the better. So the sachets from Hazel, I think that's cool. And of course, I was also sold on the, what was the name of the fresh inset with, pictures, speaks 1,000 words, as they say. So that was pretty impressive as well. I wonder how these are going to be implemented. So will these be available to consumers to buy on their own, or will producers put these into their products? And if it's the latter, will that play into the price of the product? Will that potentially increase?
That's a good question. I know for sure that these are not for consumers to buy, that these will be something that, somewhere along the supply chain, probably like distributors or farmers or whoever it is, producers in some way, shape, or form will purchase these from these companies. And whether it will trickle down in terms of price to the consumer, I don't know yet. I would be hopeful that it wouldn't, just because I'm hopeful that it wouldn't, but I don't know. Do you think that it would?
Oh, 100% would.
Vera's
They're not going to add anything for free. I think so. Even though technically one could argue that with their stickers, they can make more of a profit anyways, because their produce and fruit and vegetables would look fresher for longer, therefore they would sell more, therefore the cost doesn't need to be given or passed down to the consumer. But I have a feeling that every new technology that they implement, there's going to be a little bit at least of a price increase to the consumer. It's just, that's my opinion.
That's the business model of corporate food.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I also see the price being, the added cost being transferred to the consumer. And again, that's just that's the model. Corporations don't want to absorb the costs when they'll be making, the profits from it, and they can definitely cover the costs, but if they're getting more money into their pockets, there's no incentive. Also, I wonder, because they'd have to do like a cost analysis to see, okay, are consumers going to be buying our products more because they're going to last longer, or is it in their benefit to not have this, and then consumers have to keep throwing away their produce earlier and they have to buy more? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these technologies are, at least their visions are predicated on sustainability and reducing food waste, right? But
then when they enter the corporate and the business arena, things tend to change. So the interests are different.
And these things come at a cost. You're right. And I'm curious about whether when they become more common, that fruit and vegetable producers will be advertising with fresh inset technology or with Hazel technology or whatever it is. And if we as consumers will become more familiar with these companies and these types of technologies, or whether we won't know about it at all. I'm very curious how how well us as consumers will become familiar with this sort of technology, or whether we we won't know about it at all.
I feel like producers or companies are probably just going to advertise it as lasts longer or stays fresh longer, stays fresh for 3 more days or 3 days longer than normal. So something like that. But the actual technology, probably not per se. Yeah, it's going to all be around marketing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be like that food that's sold in like biodegradable packaging. Like some consumers know this is biodegradable, but others don't, right? So it'll probably be written in like a little phrase on the packaging, and some people will know, some people won't. But I think in the future, if it's being routinely used, probably everyone will know eventually, which is the goal, right? Because we all want less food waste.
And I think this is really great in terms of, let's say you have something in the fridge, you don't really need it, and it's not necessarily going to be going bad now, and you can donate it, let's say, to a food bank or to people in need, and it could solve a lot of problems. And again, sustainability, also food access. I think all of those things are the main drivers behind something like this. And it'll be cool to see if it plays out as intended.
I think it would also really help, more rural communities that don't have, access to fresh produce as much. If they can last longer, then they can be transported, further. So hopefully that's another incentive for these technologies. I guess it's just a matter of time, hopefully, because these are all like patented or patent pending, and they seem promising. So yeah, I'm also looking forward to it. I would love for strawberries not to go bad the next day when I buy them.
Or
strawberries are a tough
turning
one.
into like fuzzy strawberries.
Yeah.
Right? The fuzz.
Raspberries are the worst, though.
Raspberries are the worst. Yeah.
Name one worse than raspberries. I don't know any.
Yeah, and like I don't know if you're not supposed to wash them, but they just go as soon as you do. But yeah, they're very prone to fungal growth. So yeah, can enjoy those berries longer.
All right, well, that's the end of this episode of the Xtalks Food Podcast. If you like today's show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you, everyone, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Xtalks Food Industry Podcast. If you enjoyed our discussions today, please share the episode with your friends and colleagues, and be sure to subscribe in order to be notified when a new episode is released. To join in on the discussion, you can find Xtalks on social media. Email podcast@xtalks.com or comment on the articles directly. Links are in the show description. Take a moment to join our community at xtalks.com to get access to everything we have to offer, including webinars, job listings, virtual meetings, articles, and more. The views and opinions expressed in the podcast are those of the speakers sharing them. They should not be taken as professional advice and do not necessarily reflect the policy or position Honeycomb Worldwide. For further information, email us at podcast@xtalks.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.